This week we're going to be talking about Ad Nauseam. It's a good deck in Modern that I've been interested in it for a while. Jerry, also on the Snapcast, runs it. It's his favorite deck in Modern. I've always wanted to run it. I think now's a good time with Eldrazi running around because of Phyrexian Unlife and things. And Angel's Grace to make it where you just can't lose the game. But we'll get into that in a bit. So the mana base is kind of all over the place, but it works. We have Besage You is just utility, so you can't counter Ad Nauseam. City Brass just to, generate any color. And also the damage goes on the stack from the City Brass, so we can Angel's Grace if we're at like 1 life or something, or 0. To be able to have any color mana and not kill ourselves on like Mana Confluence. 4 Dark Slick Shores and 2 Seacrum Coasts as fast lands. This deck's running fast lands over the temples that are more common in the other versions. And the reason is we want to cast Serum Visions or Sleight of Hand on turn 1 because it's the only way we can push a turn 3 kill, which is the fastest this deck can run, which we can get in that in a second. 2 Gemstone Mines, once again, just any color. They can get sacked later, so they're not so late going to the long game, which is why we're only running 2. Godless Shrine, Hallowed Fountains, and Watery Graves are shocklands. We're running more colors. This is essentially an Esper color deck with just Simians and Conflagrating Lightning Storm is red. And as we move into the sideboard, you'll see why we're running these more colored lands than usual. You have your basics islands, plains, swamps, so you don't get ghost quartered or anything like that. 1 Teleria West to transmute for your packs. So the packs we're running are 3 Pact of Negation, 1 Slaughter Pact. They're free. We can Angel's Grace with the trigger on the stack so we don't lose for not paying them and just combo off that turn with Ad Nauseam. Also, they're great once we Ad Nauseam to draw our whole hand so that our opponent can't counter Lightning Storm or Conflagrate or anything like that. We're running 4 Lotus Blooms as fast mana. We want to spend it on turn 1. Spins for 3. When it comes into play, you can tap it. Tap sack, get 3. Allowing us to cast Ad Nauseam and whatever we need to do. 4 Angel's Grace is win condition with Ad Nauseam because we don't lose. We draw our whole deck with Ad Nauseam is how the combo works. We have Serum Visions and Sleight of Hands to cantrip through the deck. Spoils of the Vault to draw to a certain card, usually naming Ad Nauseam into turn, so we can Ad Nauseam on our turn. Also allows us to win with Laboratory Maniac. Into their turn, spoils for a card that's not in your deck. You have no cards in your deck. On your draw step, you win with Laboratory Maniac if it can live, if you have packs and things. Then we get Pentad Prism, which is what we want to play on 2 for Sunburst 2, which is another reason our mana base is so diverse. We always want to have 2 colors for this. It allows us to just generate even more fast mana. Phyrexian Life is just another copy of Angel's Grace here, where we just can't lose the damage, so we can draw our whole deck with Ad Nauseam. Also good against aggressive decks to just essentially gain us 10 life. Same Spirit Guide, just more fast mana. Ad Nauseam just says draw your whole deck if you can't lose the game, which is great. You can also value Ad Nauseam if you have multiple copies. You can name a card like Simian if you need the fast mana, or like the Unlife, something that you're likely to hit, so you don't draw. You just keep drawing until you want to stop. Usually you want to hit one of those cards. Your win conditions are Laboratory Maniac is the least win condition, but it's for the mirror and things like that. Things where you can't target them or something like that, and it's still a decent win condition. Lightning Storm is the main win condition. The way this works is you exile 3 Simian Spirit Guides after you draw your deck with Ad Nauseam. Hold priority and discard lands to put counters on it, charge counters on it, and deals X damage, where X is 3 plus the number of charge counters on it, and every land you discard gets 2 charge counters on it. So you discard a bunch of lands and kill them. That's essentially how it works. With this, you want to try to get exactly lethal because any player can discard a land and send it back. So you put it for exactly lethal and saving a couple extra lands in your hand. So if they discard land to send it back, you just discard land and send it back again to make sure they get hit by it. Conflagrate is the other win condition. This is for if they've gained a bunch of life. So you cast it for 0 for 1 Simian, put it in there, and it has flashback of 2 red and X, and then discard number of cards, then that pays for the X. So you use 1 Simian, pitch it, for nothing into the graveyard. Flash it, hold priority, flash it back with 2 Simians, and then discard your whole hand, which is usually your library, to deal 40 damage, roughly around there. So that way, if they're above, what Lightning Storm can do, you can flagrate them. So that's the main deck. Moving into the sideboard here. 4 Ley Line of Sanctities to stop hand disruption, Inquisitions, Thoughtseize, things like that. 1 Patrician Scorn to beat their Ley Line of Sanctities, so we can target them with Lightning Storm and Conflagrate, so we're not reliant on Laboratory Maniac to win at that point. Echoing Truth is for Chalice, and also like Ley Lines and things like that. Anything that Pithing Needle can name Lightning Storm, so we can't put charge counters on it, so we can Echoing Truth that. It's just good utility. Bouncing Spellskites, so they can't redirect like a Conflagrate or something. The Spellskite is great too. Then we're running 2 Darkness, which is just a fog to use against aggressive decks like Infect and things like that. 2 Damnations with a bunch of aggro decks going wide and putting a lot of things on the board. Having Damnation to clean things up is great. 1 Skithrix, which is just for the mirror, because it doesn't care. It deals infect damage, so it doesn't care about Phyrexian life. So we bring that in to beat the mirror. 2 more packs. The 4th Pact of Negation, the 2nd Slaughter Pact, for games where we're going to kill things for free and not lose to them, and 1 Dispel for counter wars and things like that against like Control or other combo decks that we want to stop. So I mentioned this deck has a turn 3 kill, and the way it works is you have 3 lands of any kind, Pentad Prism on turn 2 for 2, 1 Simian Spirit Guide, and Ad Nauseam and Angel's Grace. So on turn 2 you have 2 mana, you Pentad Prism for 2 different colors, so you have 4 mana essentially. You untap, play land, giving you the mana you need to cast, and with this, exile the Simian to make a land, and it gives you 6 mana to cast Angel's Grace and Ad Nauseam. And that's why we're not running Temples, is because we want to play a land on turn 1 to slide Fander's Serum Visions to try to find these pieces for that, and then cast Pentad Prism on 2 and then win on turn 3. Yeah, so like you can dig deeper with Temple, but like these are just better cantrips, because like Serum Vision sets up multiple things. Slide Hand is the best one to play on turn 1 because it can get us a Lotus Bloom into our hand on turn 1 more reliably than like Serum Visions, so that way we can just spin it on turn 1, because the Lotus Bloom sets up for the turn 4 kill. So basically this deck wants to win on turn 3 or 4 with with Pact of Negations and things, so potentially through Disruption. So it's a pretty resilient, it digs pretty well, all the pieces are redundant, so attacking the hand does suck, but we can get through it. Yep, so that's pretty much the deck. Like I said, Jerry runs this more than I do, but he wrote me a sweet primer on how to play it and everything I need to know. So we're actually probably going to put that up on the website, thesnapcast.com. So head over there. We'll put the link in the YouTube videos here, so you can head over that way and read the primer, and you'll learn even more about this deck, which we are going to run through a league, and I'll record that, and those videos will be in this playlist. So see you on the first round.